Hey, Dr. Film here, and yes, I'm qualified to be a doctor. For movies.
I don't care!
Before we begin, you should know that this review will contain no spoilers. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for reviews and more. And so, without further delay, let's get into it. First things first, our main star, Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, played by Anthony Mackie. He performed his part well, and he does a good job reminding us why he's the perfect candidate to be the next Captain America.
And being handed the shield, it just means a lot to me. It's personal.
As for the rest of the cast, all of them did a fairly good job with their roles. Nothing special, really. And now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. President Ross, played this time by Harrison Ford. Despite the circumstances involving William Hurt's passing on March 2022, Harrison Ford did a great job playing this character. And it's worth noting that this marks the 6th time a role was recast in the MCU. Oh yeah, it's no secret that they made some pretty good choices in the past, but they also made some pretty odd choices too. Okay, why would they cast Fandral with Zachary Levi? He just ends up dying in Thor Ragnarok anyway.
I'm just a janitor.
And as for the Red Hulk? Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that subject later. The action sequences in this movie were mostly average. Most of the action scenes were mostly done through CGI effects, and the CGI looks pretty average. I mean, it's no longer a surprise at this point. Even with action scenes that have little to no CGI in them, those action scenes look slow, and the fight choreography looks flashy at times. And as for the big climax between Red Hulk and Captain America, it was pretty satisfying, but underwhelming at the same time. For instance, the CGI design of the Red Hulk looks good, and sometimes it doesn't, and it was pretty intense. Sometimes, it's pretty much the equivalent of the fight between Godzilla versus Kong. We all knew back then that Kong was going to survive by the power of plot armor. Hallelujah! But on top of that, is this what some people out there asked for? A fight between a normal guy versus a ferocious, rageful monster? Really?
Really?
Now let's go over the story. Well, here's the rundown. The pacing was slow, the editing was choppy, the dialogue is pretty much the equivalent of this kind of dialogue.
Tell me what to be.
I don't know, just don't be a
And most importantly, the story loses focus on the main central idea. Sam Wilson taking the mantle as Captain America. And don't get me wrong, it really did try to tackle what Sam Wilson is going through and such, but as the film progressed, we lose sight of that because we're so focused on grasping other concepts, such as the conspiracy to assassinate President Ross, the battle over the celestial being over the Indian Ocean, Red Hulk, and so much more. Honestly, it feels like the filmmakers used this film as a way to build up other movies, other projects, and possibly other sequels. And that says a lot.
You can say that again.
Overall, my friends, should we even care at this point? Now, keep in mind, I'm not suggesting this movie is overall terrible. There are some pretty enjoyable moments, and I did walk out of the theater feeling satisfactory at best. But if you try to look at this film as a whole, and when you compare it to the previous Captain America movies, this film will no doubt be at the back of the line.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, but this film was so unfocused and so awkward that you have to wonder, what kind of Captain America movie were they trying to make here? And what exactly was going on behind the scenes of this movie? Whatever their plans were or whatever their original intent was, it probably doesn't matter anymore. Because at this point, everyone has lost faith in the MCU, and for good reason. But if you still want to check out this film, by all means, go right ahead, and let me know what you think. With all that said, I give Captain America Brave New World a 7 out of 10.
I can do this all day.
I'm the president.
You gotta do better, Senator!